Thanks for coming, everyone. Happy New Year. I haven't met everyone yet. I literally just arrived yesterday. I came back. I was in Asia for 2.5 months. I went to Malaysia, Singapore, China. I did a little bit of tour here. Well, I'm a Chinese. I love Asia. I love the Chinese food. So during Chinese New Year time, but not yet. The Chinese New Year is coming soon. So the New Year time, I spend some time overseas. Yeah. It's good to come back. And I was surprised when I was on the train here, I found something new, the metro. I was used to take the packing train, and then I realized, oh, there is no such thing, from all the Southern Cross. Okay, finally, we still have some changes. Well, honestly, for the last I've been here almost 20 years. Melbourne, not really a lot of changes like the Asian countries. We are moving slow. But from the AI side, let's go fast. Thank you for coming. I hope the session is useful to you guys, so we can keep this continue to run. But we need you guys' support. I mentioned every time, scan the QR code, help us. And I will share a little bit learning from my side. In the past, I don't know if you guys are helping me or not. Okay, I don't have the visibility. I have to look into the LinkedIn to say who actually help us react or repost the comment. Okay. Last weekend, I joined a hackathon. I did one thing. I want to do the LinkedIn, the enhancement tracking, engagement tracking system. I can see who reacted our LinkedIn post the most. I want to see your name here, okay? In the QR code, you can find all of our social platforms. Yeah, thank you for your support. And let's go from here. Is this working? No, not yet. A little bit of myself. How many of you are first time here? Ah, great. I want to see new faces. So this is my LinkedIn. If you scan the QR code, you can find some surprises. Not really surprising. I got almost 52,000 followers. So people follow us to learn AWS. So we love AWS. Yeah, thank you for AWS to sponsor us in the venue. I also love other cloud. I also love Linux Foundation. So at one time, I'm really part of all cloud. Well, there is no point to renew all the certifications, to renew all the community titles. Okay, so some of these already gone, expired. I don't care. Okay. So I did something actually just for our community. So one thing is like kubestrong, and the other thing is AWS channel. So this one I also got expired. Yeah, I didn't renew. So I did a calculation. So if I renew the 𝐶𝐶𝐓, it costs me $445. I say if I don't do the renewal, that's $445. But I'm not the pay full price. I never pay full price. So after 50%, that's $280. $220 to 50 cents. So with that money, I can sponsor my community members. 3 of them can do the AWS certifications. So why I'm spending just the renewal for this batch? Okay, so I donate that one for our community to do the certification. So a little more myself. I just love to collect the badges, okay? But I didn't renew all of these. Yeah, there is no point. To me, I think the renewal has less benefits. So I didn't do much renewal. More information. Who is running the largest cluster? So we are running the largest cluster, the community. I pronounce it as KSUG.AI, KubeSmart and AI user group. So we got the 6 largest the node pool or node groups. And you can see each one of the groups of how many nodes. Okay, we join our Discord. So Discord is relatively new. I just created not beyond the group. We got almost 3,000 people here. People asking questions, asking their peers how to do this, how to do that, how to get certified. So we have a multiple study group. You want to learn AI, you want to learn N8, you want to learn AWS, Google, or Microsoft, or whatever you want to learn. There are people asking questions, some people asking for the free watches. They might have free watches that they get to someone else. Yeah, that's our community until Discord. Photos. So previously I always share the QR code, nobody cares. Because I was using OneDrive. OneDrive makes life so hard to share, to view the photos. So from now, I switch to Google Photos, okay? I just sign up with the Google Workspace. I'm KubeSmart, I'm doing the KubeSmart. I never pay full price. The Google Workspace, also pretty expensive. The means standard comes with a 2 terabytes the storage. So the photo also shared. So I use the Google photo. Now moving forward, we're using the Google to share the photo. So basically I create the album and people, everyone can upload the photos. You're not able to delete photos and upload the photos. Yeah, which is a great platform for people to share that photo. You don't have to buy it from Australia, okay? I buy it from Malaysia, which is the cheapest price I can find everywhere, 50% off. So literally I pay like probably 12 Aussie dollar each month for the Google Workspace. Anyway, tonight we got some awesome topics except mine, okay? And the first one, we got Meetup Bear, Daniel. He will join us to talk about how to use MirrorD to cut your dev loop from hours to seconds. The second topic, it's last minute, I just added. Yeah, the reason is I did not find a second speaker, okay? So last minute I was thinking, what we're going to do? Yeah, either I can ask Dan if he is interested to extend or I do something. So last minute, I say, you know, why not I'm sharing what I learned the AI tools. But how deep? It's not that deep, okay? So I'm just share with you what AI tools I'm using to, you know, play around. And then I open the floor for you guys to share. If you are using any one of the tools, you have some deep experiences, please join to do a few minutes to share, okay? I also share the one which I built earlier, the LinkedIn engagement ranking. So I will show you shortly. Yeah, pretty cool. Before we wrap up, we normally have a quiz time. So you need to listen carefully to be able to answer the question correctly, fast enough, get to the top, and then you can win the nice swags. I want to make it harder. Not only you need to get to the top, okay? That's the first part. The second part is if I don't see your name from our LinkedIn track, you're out of the play, okay? Yeah, the thing is we need you guys to support us. And some of the swags, where are the swags? Yeah. So some of the swags I brought it here, yeah. And Metal Bear, yeah, their swags wasn't delivered yet. Maybe next time, yeah. So I got what's over here? Let me see. Who is like the reading the Kubernetes book? So I got a cracking the Kubernetes interview. So it's not about the interview, it's the full learning, okay? I was initially thinking it's just about the interview, but actually it's a great learning. And what else I have? So that one, yeah, there is a drinking bottle. I grabbed it from some other events. Okay. And yeah, some other small stuff. And also we have Code Cloud continue to sponsor two subscriptions. That one is more expensive actually. Yeah, 6 months also pretty good. Yeah, you don't have to pay anything. So that's why we need you guys to help us to spread the news. And the last but not least, group photo. So we take a photo, we share the photo. We encourage you guys to help us to spread the news. Okay? A little bit of our mission. So we're actually a community. We want to empower the community to learn faster, to get certified smart, and grow strong. That's it. And we created two of the community program. These community program created by us, our community. So we only encourage the people to level up, but to have something to show off. That's why I created the AWS channel, awesome. If you are fully certified on AWS, you can get the AWS code jacket. There are free ways to get it, or you can pay for it. So I can show you the golden jacket. It's already pretty cool, shiny. Yeah, to join the conference, you're wearing the golden jacket. Pretty cool. Everyone is looking at you. And yeah, we feature the people who are 40% on our global map. So globally, we have 200 people. And also, we create another community program called KSUG. We make it even harder. You need to put 40% on AWS plus Kubernetes to get to the map. We also have a thanks to all of our volunteers to make that happen. Who else is here? We got a 𝐒𝐒𝐑𝐏𝐀𝐘 here, but we don't have anyone else here yet. If anyone wants to join us as a volunteer, as a speaker or sponsor, please let us know. We are hoping to keep the community running, to continue to help many people. Our main sponsor, AWS, our long-term sponsor, 𝐒𝐑 to support us with the free learning platform subscriptions. We also have Metal Bear join us. Thanks, Daniel, and also Francis. They join us to support us. So we're hoping to do more the events in the coming years. Also, 𝐍𝐄𝐕𝐄𝐑 Academy. I don't know how many of you here landing your first job. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. And they are also one of our community partners. Okay, if anyone interested, you can check out their social platform. Is here. I think I've done enough talking. Oh, I haven't talked about this yet. So you don't want to. I keep talking about never before price. We have the best view. The whole universe. You want to be able to see 37% of the 𝐶ode standard. I always compare the standard as an economy class. Okay, and then you go to the pro version. That's the premium economy. And then you go to business class. We don't fly business class every time, right? So the standard is the best one. To get to there, same you fly to the destination at the same time, right? So why you pay that much? 2 times, 3 times. And the best thing is the code you can save 37%. So you might have noticed that there keeps all the actually when you pay attention, you will notice almost all these guys they keep doing the promotion every month. If you look at the 50% for after the business class, it's still very expensive. Okay, and what else? Anyone go to any one of the industry conference? I managed to talk to these guys to get us some special discount. If you go to KubeSmart in Europe, Amsterdam, you get how many? 30%, I think 30%. If you go to 𝐶𝐶 in Europe, if you go to Google Cloud, next, that's in Las Vegas. The 𝐒𝐓𝐑𝐑 navigates in London. We got all the discount code to help you tonight. So excited. The first topic, let me invite Daniel to share with all of us how to cut the dev loop from hours to seconds. Come over here. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Yongkang. All right. Thank you, Yongkang, for the introduction, and thank you everyone for attending. So my name's Dan Baker, and I'm a solution engineer at Metal Bear. If for anyone who doesn't know, Metal Bear is the creators of an open source package called 𝐸RD, which I'll be talking about today. And what 𝐸RD does is it basically allows you to run code locally on your machine, but as though it is running in a Kubernetes environment. So your code effectively hallucinates and thinks it's running in Kubernetes, but it's actually running locally. And I'll be talking a little bit more about that today. Just a little bit more of my background. I'm based in Sydney, but here for the day in Melbourne. And I was a developer for about 10, 11 years before. And as a developer, I think I started out in writing Java code, and then I did some Node.js and some Ruby and some mobile app development and some Golang. And then I moved into solution engineering, which is really more around helping organizations adopt technology rather than writing code directly myself. So let's get into it. And just as a heads up, so I've probably got 5 or so slides that I'm going to run through, and then I'll actually do a real life I'll do a live demonstration of the tool, and you'll kind of see how you could use it in your day-to-day. So before I actually start, I might just ask for a show of hands if you have ever made a 1 or 2 line code change and then you've had to wait, say, half an hour to deploy that change to see if it's worked. Oh, yeah, okay. It's at least half the room. So that is the problem. I've got to work out how best to do this. That is the problem that we solve. So at its core, you write code, you test it locally, and it works on my machine. You then push it to wherever it's going to run in a more production-like environment, and it doesn't work for lots of different reasons, like, different networking, different environment variables, entirely different environment, talking to real services with real data. And so in order to effectively test code that you write, testing it in a cloud or an integrated environment is mandatory. Like you have to do it just to make sure that your code's going to work in something that's a bit more production-like. But that is slow and frustrating because, and obviously it's different for every organization, but in most organizations of reasonable size, you've got a CI/CD pipeline, so you're kind of writing your code. Then you're pushing it somewhere, you're triggering a build, the build runs. It probably runs a bunch of tests, and then eventually it deploys to an environment and you can test it in that environment. And that takes anywhere from, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes for like a really simple project with not too many tests to multiple hours in a really complex environment or a project with, thousands or hundreds of thousands of different tests. The other thing to consider as well is with the advent of, or with the increasing usage of AI as part of software development, the actual writing code part doesn't take as long anymore. Like you can kind of write much more code in a much more efficient manner using AI. But then this part of the cycle, like testing it, there's not necessarily too many enhancements in terms of speed from an AI perspective. So that's the problem that Miradii solves. Effectively, you can run your services on your local machine, but it feels as though the service is running in your cloud environment. So what that means is like you can set like debug points. If you've got hot reload, the hot reload will work, but it feels like it's running within Kubernetes. It'll work in like your existing dev setup. So if you've got like if you're using an IDE, like what are they called? The JetBrains IDEs or VS Code or any of the VS Code forks, there's IDE extensions for all of those. And then there's a CLI tool, which to be honest, I think most people who want to do something beyond just the bare basics will generally use the CLI tool. Yeah, and ultimately you're cutting down your dev loops from potentially hours to seconds. So I'll just cover the basics here and then we'll jump into the demo. So when on the left-hand side of this diagram, that is our local machine, and we're running like a local process on our local machine. We also have a Kubernetes environment, and what we do is when we start Miradii, we are going to select a target. The target is a container or a pod, but you're basically saying that pod is my target. And once you've set that, like once you've basically specified your target, you will be able to read and write to the file system of that pod. You will have all of the environment variables of that pod, and you will be able to make and receive network calls from that pod. So your local process thinks it's running in Kubernetes effectively, but it is running on your local machine. So let's have a look at it in action. First, we've already done that. We've just covered the very basics there. So we'll start by looking at our IDE or command line setup. We'll create a config. We'll go through some of the networking options, and then we'll touch briefly on testing and isolation and what some of the impacts of this are when you're testing within I guess, a broader environment, because it's a little bit different when you're using 𝐼𝐸D just as a solo developer versus when you're using it as part of a larger team and you might all be trying to do different things within the one cluster. So let's get into it. For today's session, I am going to be using, I might make it a little bit bigger. We're going to be using this application here called Electric Walrus. Electric Walrus is effectively a clone of Slack. I can type some messages in here. Oh, there we go. I can type a message and I can receive and I can see what the message is coming up there. And that's on you can go and check out the IP address there for anyone on the Zoom, but don't do it too much because I don't want to get DOSed. But yeah, so very simple chat room, send messages, receive messages, and there's a history function here as well, so I can see a history of all the messages that have ever been sent. So super simple. Oh, and one last thing, there is a nice message of the day here. So at the moment, the message of the day just says, "Welcome to the message of the day service." Now, what this looks like from an architectural perspective is this. So this is running inside Kubernetes. I've got my Messenger app. The Messenger app is it's a Node.js app, and that's the one that sends and receives messages. Now, when I send a message, that's actually going to Kafka and coming back. When I save messages, it's going to a Postgres database. But for today, we're going to be focusing on this message of the day app. So that message of the day that we saw at the top of the screen, that's actually coming from a little microservice. And so it's actually this one here. I can refresh this and you can see it says, welcome to the message of the day service. And that's basically what's shown there. So for today, what I'm going to say is I'm a developer. I've been given a task. I need to change the message of the day to something else. And I want to be able to test my changes to my message of the day in this app, in the Messenger app, but I'm going to be making my changes in that downstream service. And we're going to see effectively how to do that. So let's open up VS Code here. So this project contains all of the code for for everything that was on that diagram there. But for right now, I've got my message of the day. So my message of the day app is a Java app with a Gradle build. And then the Messenger app is a Node.js app. But for this one, let's actually come into the source, main, Java. Here we go. And let's start that. So we'll start our message of the day up locally here, and we'll just make sure that it's working. Over here, closed. There we go. Okay. So let me make it a bit bigger. There we go. So I'm getting back no message set. And that's fine. So it's a bit different from what's happening in my staging environment, which I'll also make bigger. It's a little bit different. And if we have a look at why, the reason is that the way that message is set, let's move that out of the way. The way that message is set is right here. So we're looking for an environment variable, MOTD. And if we don't find one, then we say no message set. So that's fine. Now, let's see if we can run our service using 𝐼𝐸D. So that we can see that environment variable get populated from the pod. So I'll stop that. Now, I have already installed this, but basically all you need to do is install this 𝐼𝐸D extension. That enables this little button down here, which I can turn on. And now that I've done that, so the extension, you would just click install. And then once you've done it, we can come back to our application here and we can start it again. And what you'll see here is it's actually popped up. It's asking us to select our target. So it's like, what is the pod or the deployment or the container that you're trying to target, that you want 𝐼𝐸D to target? So I'm going to say here, it's in the Messenger namespace, and I've got my MOTD pod here. So I'll click that. And that's going to start. Now, just for clarity, where did where did where did those pods come from, and where did what Kubernetes cluster is this? That's all being driven by the kubectl, your current context in your kube control. So if I was to get pods, uh, that, so oh, sorry, it might be a bit small. That might be too big. So here I wrote, kube control get pods in that namespace, and you can see the pods. So Mirror D is going to use the context of whatever's in your kube control, whatever you've got configured in there. So that is now up and running, which means that now, if I refresh this page, I'm now running as though I'm in the cloud. So welcome to the message of the day service. That's great. Let's actually put in a breakpoint. Let's put it there. Let's see that going. And we can actually see here, there you go. Well, there's the message. Welcome to the message of the day. So that's being pulled in via an environment variable coming from that pod. So that's very cool. Let me let that go through. Now, I'll show you what happens if I refresh this page. So I'm refreshing just then. I'm actually refreshing the page, the service that's running in the cluster, and that actually triggered my breakpoint here. But it didn't prevent this page from loading. So the reason why that's happening is because we're in a mode which we call mirror mode. And to explain that in a bit more detail, I've got a slide. So with mirror mode, what happens is Mirror D will basically pick up any requests that are going into the target pod and mirror them to your local service. But the original request will still go through to the remote pod, and the response will still come from the remote pod going back. So my browser made the request to the service. The remote pod actually generated the response and sent it back to my browser. I just got a copy of the request. So this is really useful for if you're trying to debug an application, and I guess you want realistic environment variables, you want the actual realistic HTTP request that came into your service, but you just want to be able to debug that locally without impacting anyone else who's using that service at the same time. So you can you're getting a mirror of the request. You're getting a copy of the request that came in. Yes.
I'm just wondering, does your local code have access to the production database? And
As long as that is set by an environment variable, yes.
yeah, because then it might try to write the same rows as the other production service. But if you don't have that, then it's not reading the production data, and so it might get confused by that as well.
Yep.
Do you have a solution for that? Or?
So most of the users of MirrorD are using us in development and with a staging Kubernetes environment, not necessarily to debug production apps. But the way to get around that would be to have two environment variables for your production database, one to use for reads and one to use for writes.
Oh yeah.
And you would override, and I've got an example which I'll show, but you can override environment. So for the write one, you would override it and say, no, don't use whatever the pod's using. I'm going to tell you what to use, but for reads, read production. Yeah.
That's a handy solution.
Yeah. So that's mirroring. Oh, yes, another question?
Oh.
Oh.
Want to recall also I'm just wondering if Mirror-D can target multiple pods in a service. So if I have like a multi-node service where I need to debug the distributed system, is that something that I can do with Mirror-D?
So you can start multiple services or at the same time. So yeah, you would do it by I don't think in the one run you can necessarily run against multiple services, but you can certainly have, say, 3 different code bases on your machine and just start Mirror-D 3 times, each of them pointing to a different target. Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay. What if I wanted to, like in this scenario, so I've just gone through mirroring. Mirroring doesn't really help me with the change that I wanted to make. Because what I originally said was I wanted to change the message of the day and I wanted to see the message of the day change happen in my front end UI. Mirroring doesn't get me there because I can't see the impact of my change. Like I'm changing a downstream service, I can't see the impact of it upstream. What I want to do is request stealing. So request stealing is where the request will come in and I'll actually steal. I won't send the request to the remote pod at all. I will steal it. I'll send that down to my local and I'll send the response back upstream. And so let's have a look at that in action. So with that in mind, okay, let's stop you for a sec. Now I'm going to do this rather than using the IDE extension. I'm going to use the command line interface now, and I'm also going to do it via a config file. So I'm going to make a config file here called mirrord.json. And I'm going to start by copying this config and pasting it in there. Oh, that did not work. Try it again. Oh, I know what I did. Did Control C instead of Control V. Oh, I'll get there. I'll get there.
Let's rename that copy.json.
Okay. Okay, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Come on.
At least we know it's not a screen recording.
That's right. That's right. Okay. There we go. All right, we're up and running. So what's inside here? We've got our target. So we're saying we want to target any pod that's running in the MOTD deployment. In this case, there's only one pod, but if there was more, it would just pick one. In terms of features, the default is mirror mode, but actually I don't want mirror mode. I want steal. So I'm going to change that to steal. And now this is just a quirk. This is a quirk of Gradle for anyone who uses Gradle. The way that the Gradle daemon works means that I want local host requests coming from this app to go to my local machine, and I don't want it to go to the local machine of the remote pod. And so that's why I've got this ignore localhost here set to true, which is basically just saying for any outgoing requests that my app makes, I want it to go to my real localhost and not the remote pod's localhost. So that's that. I think that, oh, let me just save that, make sure that's all right. All right. And let me grab the command I want to run, which is this one here. Copy. So cd paste. All right. So what the command I just put in there, where did it go? I lost it already. There it is. So it's a mirrord exec. I gave it the config file, and then it's just the command that I wanted to run. Like it's just Gradle boot run. But if I was running a node service, it would just be mirrord exec, the config file, and then npm, run dev, whatever it's going to be. I think that's actually up and running now. So let's come back to this and refresh this page. Oh, right. I didn't make any changes to my application. So that is not going to do anything interesting. So let me actually come back in here, come back into my application here, and there we go. Welcome to KSUG. I pronounced it wrong. Yongkang. It's all right. Okay. All right. So there we go. Yes, that's all I wanted to do. Okay. Let's actually start mirrord again. And this time, now that I've actually made a change, so I'm now ignoring the environment variable, right? I'm no longer looking at that environment variable. I've just hard coded it, which means now, welcome to KSUG. That's what you'd expect. Now I'll refresh this one. And I'm getting welcome to KSUG here as well. So my remote service, like I made a HTTP request to that remote service. It got picked up. It sent that request to my local machine, sent it back. And then finally, even on this one, oh, some people had sent me messages. I missed them though. And there we go. Welcome to the message of welcome to KSUG. So we're now actually testing the impact of one of those downstream changes on an app that was running in Kubernetes further upstream. So yeah, it's really powerful.
You might be installing some kind of sidecar inside the pod, right?
A cycle?
Like a sidecar container inside the
Oh.
pod to steal the request and send it back to your local, right?
Correct, yes.
So how are you doing that? You didn't explain that configuration.
Right. So from a configuration perspective, there's a couple of different modes that Miradd can run. So the open source tool will run, it will spin up like a sidecar pod effectively and do a bunch of work in there. And the open source tool works in that manner. There is for testing in isolation, so that's where you want to be able to do certain things without it impacting anyone else in the cluster. For that, we have a Miradd operator, and that runs in its own namespace in its own pod, and it performs a bunch of operations on your Kubernetes cluster from within the cluster itself in a pod. Did that answer the question?
So what do we need to install?
So for open source, you don't have to install anything. You just install the CLI and you set up the kube control, like you've got your kubectl command set up, and the CLI will do everything for you. That for what I've just shown for like stealing the requests and mirroring the requests, that's it. That's all there is to do. For some of the other stuff you want to there are some of the other things that you would want to do, and for them you would use Helm usually to install the Miradd operator, and that does some more advanced use cases. Yep. So that's look at a very high level. That is like using Miradd to basically test a downstream change on an upstream service. That's all available on the open source tool, and the open source tool is very powerful. I'm not going to go into detail on the paid offering, but the idea behind the paid offering is it adds more features around being able to test in. Actually, sorry, one last thing I'll show before I finish up. With the stealing mode that I showed, what you can do here is add a filter. I'm not going to actually add it now, but you can add a HTTP filter here so that you can filter or you can specify the types of requests that you want to steal, and so you don't have to steal all of the requests. So as an example, I can set a HTTP header and say I only want to steal requests that have a particular header that match like a regular expression, or I only want to steal requests that are on a particular path. And that means that if you've got multiple people working on an application in an environment, you can avoid stealing their requests, because what will kind of suck is if I set steal to all requests, I set a breakpoint, and then I'm off doing stuff like stepping through code, and someone else is hitting my service, or they're hitting an upstream service, which is calling that service, and then it'll just stop responding because you're stealing all the requests. So in most cases where you're not working solo, you'll want to set a HTTP filter there so that you're only stealing the requests that you want to, and you're not impacting other people. In terms of that forms part of the idea of testing in isolation. Some of the other parts around that, which are part of the paid tier of Miradd, are around automatically creating copies of databases. So you can basically say, this is my database, but I want to spin up like a temporary ephemeral copy of this database automatically. So when I start 𝐼𝐸D, it just goes and creates that database, and then I can run migrations, or I can play with the data in there, and it's not going to impact like other people who are using that data. The other part of that as well is around message queues. So there's some functionality in there so that if you have if you think about this app here, if I started a local version of this app running, when I send a message here, it's actually going through to Kafka and then coming back into this app. If I have a local version of this app running, then my local app and this one are going to be competing for messages on that topic. And one of them is going to get the message and the other one's going to miss it. So we have a feature of queue splitting, which basically works on a number of different message queues, and it allows you to basically work out which messages should go to the local. You can specify which messages should go to your local versus which messages should continue through to the staging environment. The only other thing which I would point out is that you can use 𝐼𝐸D not only for for apps that you're building, but you can also use it to start third-party tools and like proxies and things. So one thing which a number of our customers do is they start a little proxy locally, and then they configure Postman or something similar to Postman to use that proxy, and then you can effectively use a tool like Postman to make HTTP requests as though you were in the cluster. So you can kind of use, you can use like Kubernetes internal DNS from within something like Postman, which is quite cool. But yeah, look, that probably does me on time. So thank you very much for attending or for listening, and I might just add my email address here. So feel free feel free to reach out if you have any questions, like if you're trying out the open source and you're just trying to get something going, feel free to send me an email. If you look on our website, we also have I think we've got Slack and Discord, although I think we're now pretty much entirely running on Slack, but we have a community Slack set up so you can go in there and ask questions. Yeah, thank you very much.
Anyone else has any questions?
Does the pod needs to run in admin mode?
Wait a second.
You have to
You
need the mic.
No, joking, said I would ask you this question, but it's not quite. 𝐼𝐸D has existed for some time. When did Metalbear come into that? Just out of pure interest.
That's a good question. I couldn't honestly tell you the answer. So myself and Francis, who's at the back, we're the first employees in Australia or in APAC. We've been here for about 6 to 8 weeks. And that's because one of Australia's larger banks have signed up as a customer. So I think Metalbear as the entity 𝐼𝐸D is probably 3 or 4 years old, and Metalbear is like maybe 2 years old, but that's my guesstimate. Don't take that as gospel.
Does the pod needs to run in admin privileges inside the cluster?
So the way the operator pod, the way that it works is we actually create custom roles for that pod. It is effectively running with admin privileges though, yeah. So if you don't have the ability to run pods without admin privileges, then you'll struggle to install the operator. But I think using 𝐼𝐸D without the operator, so if you just need it, if you just want to use it without the operator just to do mirroring and stealing and not too much else, I don't think it needs admin privileges, although I'd have to double check.
Anyone else? No question? Well, good. Thanks, Dan.
No, thank you.
Let's give him another round of applause. Thank you so much. It's my laptop. Yes.
Make some space.
Hello, welcome back. Not sleeping. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, I wasn't planning to do this session, yeah, because we don't have a second speaker. I volunteered to do the second one. Okay. I was thinking, yeah, pretty much from late last year until now, I tried multiple different tools. Can you guys recognize any one of the items listed here? That's a lot of the AI coding tools listed here. It's part of the test.
The right one, don't know. This is, I know all.
Okay.
Just the last one, I don't know.
Yeah, the last one I just tested last Saturday. I joined one of the hackathon in Singapore. So it's called Trade.
Okay.
TRAE.
You take the logo.
So it stands as it's stand for the real AI engineer. What is the last name?
It is from TikTok, right?
TikTok, yeah, ByteDance technically.
ByteDance, yeah.
Yeah.
So Copilot, Cursor, Anti-Gravity, 𝐍𝐄𝐕𝐄𝐑, and Rapid.
Roughly, yeah, correct. So the marketplace, the market is so huge here. So do you guys know how much valuation of this guy? 𝐒𝐂𝐑. More than 30 billion. Yeah. Now you know why everybody rushing to this space. The Amazon launched the Cairo. Google launched the anti-gravity. The guys are almost around the same time they launched. And the last one, Trade, they just celebrated the 1 year anniversary. So they started January last year, and this year they just celebrated 1 year. And the code from Alibaba Cloud, and this guy, Replit. Guess how much valuation?
300.
Also not small, 3 billion.
3 billion, okay.
Yeah. So
More
amazing.
than Cursor.
Yeah, pretty much all of these guys are targeting 𝐒𝐂𝐑. Yeah, everyone is rushing to do this. Anyway, I tried some of the tools, and the one I'm going to share is last Saturday. I tried the Trade, TRAE, and it's part of the hacks. I want to build something. I want to show you what I do. Okay. So hopefully it can give you some idea. Then I open up the floor. You guys, if you guys try the codes and try the anything else, feel free to come over here, do a quick sharing. So the whole idea is I want to encourage more people to try a different tool and share your experience so everyone can grow faster, can grow, move quicker. Okay. So let me show you what I built. Where is my stuff? So how I build, I first, yeah, let me come back here, how I build this stuff. So there is something called Trade. If you guys want to try, but by the way, it's not a sponsored, okay? It's purely my personal experience here. So if you want to try Trade, it's TRAE.AI. So right now, you can claim some extra credits. So the idea is, I don't know how much you are willing to pay for try the tool. I don't pay. I don't want to pay. Okay. So this one can give you like a 600 some extra credits you can try. I built the whole stuff. I tried only used like 100, less than 100. Okay. So I leave it to you guys. I show you the tool which I installed. I literally installed the tools, Amazon Cairo here. You got an anti-gravity somewhere as well. And then code, oh, that's different. Yeah, Trade is this one. So they got something pretty cool, I would say. So because of AI agent coding things, pretty much you don't know. I'm not a developer, by the way. How many of you are developers? So now we can take over your job, potentially. I'm not kidding, potentially, okay? So the tool, can you guys see in the back? Let me make the slide a little bigger. So they got something called solo mode. So the solo, you can switch to IDE mode. IDE mode is just a normal mode. You can ask, then they can give you a suggestion how to fix this, how to do something. Basically, it's a simple job. Okay, the solo mode, it's more advanced. I basically use the solo mode. Let me see how I can go from the beginning. Okay, so in the first, let me open a new window, probably can see some of the details. So basically, when you open up a new window, you can see these two icons. So one of the things is called a solo coder. So I tested last Saturday, I used the solo coder with the plan enabled. Basically, I just type the requirements here. I want to build a LinkedIn engagement tracking to be able to track how many people reacted on my company LinkedIn page, how many people commented. And then the whole stuff, I don't know how to create this, by the way. Completely no idea how to do this, okay? And then I put all the requirements here, and then the tray solo mode, build the documentation first, the plan, give you the whole documents, and then build the whole code for me. So what it looks like, if I switch it here, you can see, no, not this one. So this is what it looks like. All the folders, all the files are created by tray. And I'm running the one basically in my browser. So right now I'm running in Docker. It's running in local. I haven't deployed to any cloud yet. But literally, I don't know how to deploy. You just ask in the chat window, I want to deploy somewhere. And then it will give you some idea how to deploy to Google, to AWS, or to any other tools. So this is what it looks like. So if you guys are reacted to our company LinkedIn page, your name will be popping up here. So like Tiago, he is our community support. He's on the top today. You can filter by today. So this is what I filtered. Yeah. And so I tell you initially what I built. Initially, all the contributors listed the LinkedIn, the long URL. I don't know who is that. And then I asked to fix that, give me the name. And then after that, I say, give me the link so I can click the guy to see who is actually. Yeah. Okay. And also, if you click here, you can see what exactly he did. So like he reacted kubestrong, he reacted KSUG.AI. If you click, you can see the links as well. How you guys think? Yeah. So I think the AI agentic tool, AI coding tool, I don't know, I wouldn't call it's a builder for someone who don't know not in the developer, status. I'm not a developer. Basically, for anyone without the knowledge of the developer coding, you can build something. If you want to build something to showcase, you can use the tool to do it. Any questions? And I still, continue to enhance this. I want to put this I want to make it a part of the deploy to any cloud to allow me to easily. And then this one will be part of our KSUG.AI Community Heroes program. I can look into the data, say the top one will be marked as our community hero. Have you guys seen our heroes program?
How long took for you to code that one?
Sorry?
How long took you to create that?
How long it take?
Yeah.
So basically, part of the hackathon we're given 4 hours. So I built the initial one. I haven't finished everything, but I built the initial one in 4 hours. And then I got some challenges to connect to LinkedIn via the API. So then I tried all different tools pretty much. I tried Amazon the Google anti-gravity power, and also try to fix the thing. Finally, I got Amazon kit helped me fix the LinkedIn API connection issues, because there is an API changes from the LinkedIn, and not a all the tools using different AI model, LLM model. Some are smart, some not that smart. Finally, I got an Amazon Q. Basically, they are using the Cloud Code, the latest SONET 4.5. They help me finally identify what are the exact issue to fix it. So this will be part of our Heroes program, and the people constantly helping us. So we will feature them on our Heroes page. What do you guys think? What tools you guys are using? Matt, yeah, you want to share anything? Yeah, come over. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Earlier, I talked to Matt. He said he used heavily on the code side. Yeah, he might have some real experience to share.
Hey, thanks. Hey, everyone. I'm an engineer from Perth. I run a little SaaS business that does e-commerce for wholesale B2B. Yeah, I've been using Cursor, been getting pretty good results in the last couple of months. Hands up if you've heard of route loops. Yeah, so basically all you do is you have an agent that does planning. So you get it to write the next task that it needs to do on the project. You have another agent that picks up the next task and executes it. And the key thing is that after each task is completed, it exits the agent and you start a new one. That way you don't exceed the context window of any agent, at which point it gets aggregated and pretty done. And essentially what you get is like a perpetual motion machine, where it plans the next feature, executes it, and then reiterates over it. That's how those tools work. So I only recommend using them with the latest models. Opus 4.5 basically is smart enough to do the testing, refactoring, etc. required to keep this loop running without actually degrading your app. I used it the other day. I left it running for 2 days. So I just wrote a 1-page plan. Just not the only technical requirement was 1 line, which was I use Next.js and Convex for the backend. Left it running for 2 days, came back and it had produced like all these features that I'd never even imagined. What I built was a prediction market, which is like a betting site. You can see it at contrary.markets. So I just pushed it live. I didn't review any of the code or anything. Basically works. Started using it on my production SaaS business. I still don't write or review any code in the last 2 weeks, and I pushed over 100,000 lines of code changes. I review it by asking it to review itself. If I need to know how something works, I just ask it to tell me. Like I don't actually go looking at the code anymore. It uses a browser to click through the whole application after every feature. So I think the important thing is you have the environment set up correctly. Like you need it to be able to test everything end to end. That includes in the browser or a mobile app if you have it deploying to a mobile app. And it can now, like there's CLI tool. I wrote a CLI tool for this called Playwright CLI. So headless browser, runs super fast, clicks through the entire application in about 2 seconds. If you have that, then it can self-correct. And so this is why I think, yes, people can build like just about anything they want, but like engineers are going to be more valuable than ever because we're going to know how to actually set up the environments for these tools. So like, I know a lot of people are worried about their jobs and I get it, but if you learn how to like apply these new tools, I think you're going to be more valuable than any person in a company right now. So yeah, try to take an optimistic point of view, and change is inevitable. Embrace change. I love change. A lot of people hate it, but I think the people who embrace the change are going to be really successful because opportunities are just opening up right now. So, yeah. Any questions?
You said it's live. Can we see it or?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So this is the order book. So like basically like if we were signed in, you would have the options to buy or trade on the yes or no values. It's traded like a stock market so that if you buy at 45 cents, it has to match up with someone who's selling yes at 45 cents. Convex is really great because it has this sort of serializable by default kind of thing going on. So there's no race conditions or anything in it. So by like choosing tools that, you know, you can eliminate those sorts of problems by choosing the right tools. It's got like tournaments that actually do work. I haven't seeded them for right now. It's got a leaderboard that also works. I just haven't traded. This is on, but yeah, basically, I didn't actually even know this feature existed, but you can enable paper trading as well. So it's like it's got like real money and coins, but then you can also enable paper trading that allows you to just sort of play around in the platform without trading any of your real coins. Look like it's probably got a lot of like more features. I mean, it's a good like point, and I think the thing that surprised me was it all actually works. Like there were no glaring bugs. Like I sort of tested the whole thing in terms of making sure the trades work and all that, and I'd done a better job than I would have done. I've been coding for 25 years. Loved functional programming and stuff like that, but honestly, I just haven't had to write a line in the last couple of weeks. Yo.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Two questions, one about the app and this one about tool. About the app, the real money, does it actually like use PayPal or something like that?
I've been wondering whether to launch this, in which case, like Australia doesn't allow binary options trading, so I would have to get a gambling license. I've worked in the gambling industry, so it's actually a consideration of mine at the moment. Yeah.
It does look a lot like it's pretty amazing. So the other question, I guess, is a tool question. So
Yeah.
my kind of AI tooling experience is a bit limited, mainly just the Gemini CLI. And I'll kind of like, I'll ask it to do something with an existing code base, and more like fairly often it'll just get stuck. It'll like, it'll have to revert and say, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. When I try to ask it to add a feature, and then I try to be more specific, and then I might get it.
Yeah.
So how are you able to like have this thing run for 2 days and it not just get stuck?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think this is what I'm talking to the companies that I sort of advise at the moment, is that you need to actually put in the effort to set up your environments for agents to be able to use it. So with this, it's great because I started from scratch. It could have an architecture.md file that it maintains its own architecture in. It keeps its own agents.md file up to date. It's got all the planning that it's done for all the features that it's written to leverage. So this, like I could write a new feature and I'd be pretty confident that it's working properly. But in an existing code base, like my existing code base, I had to put in the work to actually get all those documentation things laid out, to have the testing, you know, done in a way that suits it. And honestly, like even refactoring some of my crappy code that I wrote into something that is good code. And yeah, not all my code's crappy, but like a lot of it, I looked at it refactoring and I was like, oh yeah, that's a way better way of doing it. So yeah, you have to put in the work basically. But I think people should consider putting in the work right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you said that run for 2 days.
I would just would like to know, asking how is your cost basically?
Yeah, so to get pretty much all this functionality, actually it was more like overnight. So I left it running, went to bed, woke up, and it had tournaments, leaderboards, discover, blah, 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 achievements. That adds up to a few $100s in cursor spend.
Wow. So you use the API or it is not subscription?
Sorry, but
Subscription based.
I use the subscription, but I've gone into API usage because I've exceeded the subscription. Yeah. I built another one that I did 2 hours last night. Had this idea. A lot of our customers use Xero. So basically, I built something where you can have a chat interface into your Xero data. Like, yes, I know everyone's worried about the security concerns on this, but this is a demo that this is just a landing page. Actually, I haven't hooked it up in the production instance, but it was working locally. You can do things like show me a bar chart of my top 10 customers by total revenue. Gave me a bar chart in SVG format that I could download. So it did that in about 2 hours. So I wrote a single page. I gave it, those couple of lines of instructions on what tools to use and test thoroughly after each feature. I had the preparation work done for that stuff. And it came out and it had built this, which I was quite happy with after a couple of hours. It's sort of turning my attention to is this even valuable anymore? All these ideas are just coming to life for me right now, but I'm like, fuck, I don't know how to market this stuff. I don't know how to make money from this stuff. I need a business partner or something. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. I'm just oversharing right now.
That's amazing. Any other questions to Matt? So back to the question I said earlier, we're not taking over your job. If a developer like Matt, he got more experience. He can build stuff much faster than me. So even when we are using I'm also using the tool. Look at what I do is pretty simple.
Yeah, but I think at least for the building part, that gap is narrowing. I think some of the most valuable people are going to be site reliability engineers, who have the skills, who know they're also not going to be writing code, but they're going to be thinking of stuff like, how do I get this thing to WhatsApp message me when some edge case is hit and some error happens, and what metrics and how do I interrogate the system, all that sort of stuff. So the engineering mindset and stuff is more valuable than ever. But the old way of doing things is just going away, I think. Yeah.
So in the shop, we have to leverage them.
I'll just finish up on something funny. I saw last night someone had launched a hireahuman.com or a .md or something like that, where agents can hire a human to do tasks that it can't do. Things it was I needed some photos. My human boss wanted some photos taken around the world. So it got on there and hired some humans to take photos of their city and stuff. I don't know, shit's getting out of hand. That's all I could say. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Anyone else has anything you want to share? So this is the kind of, I would say, it's a serious. It changes the way how we are doing the job. So a lot of our job will probably change because of the AI tools can help us do a lot of the work. So for one part, they are not a developer like me, we can continue to do some work. We can build something to showcase. And for someone like some of you guys already developed, you know how to do it. With the tools, you can enhance your capabilities 2 times or 5 times or even 10 times. Okay. So I don't really have a lot of stuff to share. I just to show you what tools I'm actually used. And so something I haven't completed yet. So this is, you can filter by all these. It's a pretty easy. You can filter. So it's just for me, I can have the visibility who are the guys helping us, helping our community in the last 7 days or the last 28 days. And if you click the name, you can pop up what exactly the guys reacted, which is pretty good for me. Yeah. So back to the question, shortly we're going to do the quiz time, but if your name not here, we're not going to give you the rewards, okay? And it's pretty simple. The system is almost near real time, okay? So you need, so for example, if you access the astronaut.com, it will bring to the astronaut page. And no, did I type everything wrong? Okay. Anyway, so our astronaut page is here, and you can see the LinkedIn page here. So as long as anyone, so for example, I did a post earlier. Is it this one? No, you posted from our kubestrong. Okay, so if you click kubestrong, for example, the program, click this link, it will show you the recent post. And from here, if you click React comment, it will show in my landing page, okay, in my dashboard. It's interesting. Yeah. So if your name not in the list, we can't give you the prize, okay? Just to be clear. So for example, anyone click here, either comment or link or like. So the three company LinkedIn, there is a restriction. If you click a like to my personal LinkedIn page, you will want to be able to have the access because of the privacy thing. So only company page can be captured. So shortly we're going to do the quiz time, but before that, I really want to highlight. I want to make sure you guys get the where. So do you guys know the main difference between Amazon Cairo, what they position as anyone hold the SDD? Yeah. Spec-driven development. That's the concept behind of the Amazon Cairo. Okay. So basically you define the spec before then you plan everything before you actually doing some the work. But Google anti-gravity, it's not spec-driven development. Okay, that's not what they are doing. So anti-gravity, what they consider themselves as a control manager of the agents. So it's like the whole agents are controlled by the anti-gravity. You can have multiple agents do all these works. Okay, so that's the control, is a control, mission control. Okay, that's the term. It's part of the quiz, okay, by the way. I want to make sure I cover all these before. What else? What are other questions? So yeah, I do encourage you guys to do some more, try all different tools. I don't want to, I'm not going to spend a couple $100 just to try. Yeah, as I shared with you, you try trade, you give me 600 or some credits, you can do a lot of testing. You can try a lot of stuff. And I believe Amazon Cairo also kind of like a free. You have quite a lot of the credits to use. And Google Anti-Gravity, similarly, you can have a lot of free credits to use before you even pay $2 or $3. But if you want to pay code and the trade are pretty cheap, $2, $3. Okay. Or once you build it, you know what you are doing, you find the best tools. I'm actually tried all different tools. You can even ask the other agent to review the what you did and to help you to troubleshooting. But anyway, I don't pay. Okay, are we ready for the last part, the quiz time? Ready? Okay. Below this is a QR code. Let me start this. I think I need to start the quiz first. No, actually, there is a smart way. Let me try this. Okay, let's do this. Sorry?
Should we do this? Yes.
You scan the QR code, then it should be ready, I think.
I think the first question's already run, maybe? Yes.
Oh, is that already wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, everyone is the same. Mm. I don't know. Yeah, because I'm actually first time to try this Slido thing. I did try earlier, so I don't know. It might skip the first one. So the first one, basically we can't do anything, right?
Yeah.
Let's do the second one.
Maybe just go back and then go forward.
Okay, now just started, right? Yeah, pretty easy. What is the primary purpose of 𝐼𝐸D? So we've got 4 options.
I can't remember.
Choose the choose the correct one and the first thing now we get on the top. Okay. It has to be answer the question correctly, more important than the timing. If you answer the question, very fast but fail, it doesn't work. Okay. Wow, amazing. 95% get it correct. Let me take a photo. And the second question, let's see. Oh, come on. Oh, this is normal. All right. That's just showing you who the Ravi is at top. Okay, now second question. Which language or stack does 𝐼𝐸D support? That's 30 seconds too long. For such a simple question. All right, let's see how many people get it correct.
100.
Oh, amazing. You guys are awesome. Next one. So Tanesh, jump to the top. Congratulations. What happens when you run 𝐼𝐸D exec command? So if you don't know the answer, just do random pick. At least you can get a 25%, correct chance. Wow, you guys are amazing here. Also 95% correct. So Jen, jump to the top. Congratulations. What does 𝐼𝐸D replace during development? Are they going to replace your IDE or your remote production services, or the need to build and push your app to test it in Kubernetes, or replace your container registries? You guys are awesome. 95% correct. Let's see. Here, continue. Jen is on the top. What's the main reason developers fall in love with 𝐼𝐸D? Yeah, we are almost halfway. Oh, great. Let's see what on top. Yeah, you are amazing. Yeah, you keep on the top. Halfway already. Let's see, next one. %, also very good. So the primary difference between, no, that's next. Oh, you got, it's already number 6. Okay. So the difference between traditional Copilot and the new AI agent, so like a Claude Code or something. How many of you use Claude Code? In Singapore, I heard from some of the developers says, I asked them what tools you guys are using. I said, have you used Cursor? They say, Cursor kind of like not like before. It's slowing down, and the Cloud Code is going up. So more people try Cloud Code. Is that true? Yeah, it's true, right? Okay. So now basically the AI agent, you can ask the AI agent to review all of your code and then execute the command. And some AI tools even have the browser built in. You can look at the results as well. Pretty cool. Anyone hasn't tried any tool? Everyone tried? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's pretty common. The next question. So Tonish, jump on the top again. So next one, which tool known for its solo coder with plain feature and its seamless integration with MCP? I didn't talk about MCP yet. Yeah, this one also should be easier. So how many questions? Only 3 more questions. Right. 71. So last 3 questions. Let's see. What unique feature does Google Anti-Gravity offer that helps developers verify the work of autonomous agents? So by the way, all the quiz questions also generated by AI. Let's see which one is the correct answer. Right, 83%. Who are the leader now? Jen, you are amazing, man. Okay, next one. Last 2 questions. When comparing Claude Code to Cursor, what is the most significant difference in the user interface? We didn't talk about this. Yeah, some people probably already know the difference. Great. So Claude Code is CLI right now. I don't know if they are going to, they might introduce their UI as well. And Cursor is a full ID. So technically you can build the full ID as well. You just clone the VS Code, you can enhance, build your own. Okay. That's why you see all of these tools, the ID tool is pretty similar. Yeah, similar look and feel. The last question. Okay, great. Oh, yeah, we got all these guys are amazing. Yeah, all answered correctly. So the next one, final question. What is a core philosophical shift that distinguishes Amazon Karo from a previous version of Amazon Q developer? Yeah, this one also should be relatively easier. So let's see the answer. Oh, great. Yeah, 100%. Okay, final ranking is here. Let's see. Congratulations, Jane. Yeah, we do have quite a few swags. So I do have a few, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the drinking bottle, the books, also code cloud access, and come over, yeah, pick up whatever you like, and then. So did I say I want to check if your name is there? Oh. Let's see.
No, not top
Oh,
five.
where?
I think I like few posts a few months ago.
Okay.
Maybe.
But anyway, yeah, I want to check later. Yeah.
Maybe it's that.
30 days. Oh, actually, technically, I can search your name.
Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, yes, yeah, you're right. Let me do 90 days. No, the thing is, I built the system only read the last 50 posts right now.
There are a few.
Well, it's all right. Yeah, we give you a price, but I trust you will continue to help us. Okay. Yeah, come over here. Yeah.
I'm just saying that I think I learn a lot more this Meetup indirectly. I'm a big fan of London.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, come over. Yeah. No, we take a photo. Yeah. Is that all right? Yeah, this side. Which one you would like to choose? See, you already have code cloud.
Yeah, I do. From you.
You want to the book, or maybe we don't have.
Use the book, right?
Oh, yeah, the book is
Right.
Can you help
It's like
me?
directly forcing.
But you might not want to post it on LinkedIn. Because
Yeah, come over here. We want to capture our logo as well.
there you go.
Awesome. Congratulations. So the second winner. Can tag us and continue to help us, okay? And the second winner, let me see who the second winner. Where it is. Oh, come on. Robert. Congratulations. What would you like?
Whatever.
Come over. We want to take a photo.
Trying to be as fast as I could with the button.
So we don't have our books. We only have code cloud access and the drinking bottle for the pen pad, for the pen. Yeah, that's it. It's a hard question.
Yeah. I used to, I had code for KubeSmart for the access a while ago, but I haven't used it recently.
Okay.
And maybe that'll be good.
Yeah, that was 6 months. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can activate
okay.
it.
I don't want to verify now. Yeah, but I trust you.
Yeah. I'll do it later.
Yeah. Come over here. Yeah, we take a photo. Thanks. Congratulations. Next to that, you can make it. You have your name. If your name is on here, that makes it me easy. I just click, I can find you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just like a comment or LinkedIn post, I can easy to find you. Okay. The third winner, Adam. Congratulations. Yeah, we still have code cloud. We still have the drinking bottle. Yeah. That one also pretty good. Yeah. That's my own collection. Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations. So the next winner, Ronald. So why these do the keep zone winning? Congratulations. What would you like?
What is this?
Yeah, I don't have much stuff left. Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah. Okay, congratulations. The next winner, Anish. You wanna, yeah, I only have the 10 left.
Do you have the code cloud?
Yeah, last one.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, you are lucky.
Yeah.
Congratulations, yeah. So thank you everybody for joining us. I hope this session are useful to you guys. Help us spread the news to follow our LinkedIn page, follow our social platforms, and if you don't mind, come over here. We take a group photo. Is that all right? Yeah, Robert and Connect, make sure you send me a message so I can get you the access to hold the call, okay?
We'll send you guys some little bear t-shirts when our swag finally arrives. In a couple of weeks. Yeah.
All right, come over here. Let me take a photo with you all. So I want to keep this one for now. So I will take a group photo, then I will do a selfie. So make sure you can find everyone. Come over, please. Awesome. Thanks everybody. Next is post-March. Also with the post-March. We're trying to help us with those rooms. Yes. I will have a system.